Using our contact detail view, we can quickly edit contact records and we can quickly create lists. But depending on which one we want to do, we're going to use the tool in a very different way. To illustrate what I mean, let's say that I know that Mears Insurance Company had an address and telephone number change. So I go up into Look For and I typed in Mears, and that brings it up to the top, and I double click on it, and there we go. So that's all I did, was just put into the lookup field Mears, and brings it up to the top, double click on it, and I'm in that contact. Let's do it again. If I click on Contact List, I did that one really fast because I want to show you how easy it was. Okay, but let's do this one a little bit slower. Let's say the Prospect Boutique also had a change. So go into Look For, PROSP, and then that brings it to the top, double click on it, and it opens it up. So we can quickly go through and make changes without having to do a lot of looking up, a lot of fancy stuff. All we do is just go in and find the contacts that we need. Now, as you know, we could also go back into Contact List View. We could find contacts by scrolling with our, with the mouse. I'm just scrolling with the mouse wheel now. We can use the browsing tools that we talked about before, go all the way back to the beginning of the list. That way, go to the end of the list. So, as you know, we can quickly use the contact list for this purpose. But let's say that somebody says, well, what I want you to do is I want you to go through the whole list and I want you to pull out these particular names. These particular businesses are ones that I want to get more information about, where maybe we're developing a top 10 list or top 50 list or something. And so what I want you to do is later on we're going to print these things out, but right now we just want to go in and select those contacts. Well, if we're picking and choosing through them, then we can do it in edit mode, but we would have to do it very carefully. For example, I could click on A1 Services, and then I could hold down my control key and say, well, I also want that one, and then, yeah, that one was on his list, and that one was on his list. But if you've ever done this, you'll know, not just with ACT, but with any software, you know that if you accidentally let up on your control key for just a second, oops, you lost the whole thing. Also, if you click on any of these that are in blue, as soon as you click on it, it activates a hyperlink which takes you into company detail for that particular company or for that particular contact. So we don't want to do that. So I'm going to go back to Contact List View, and let's see if there's another tool that might be able to help us out. Well, there is one. It's called Enable Tag Mode. And in Tag Mode, we look at records in a very different way, or we can select records in a very different way. So what I'm going to do is just scroll back up to the top of the list so that we're looking at the same ones. And now what I want to do, I want to select this one. And now I'm not holding down a control key at all. Okay, and I want to select this one, and I want to select this one. Here's the hyperlink, and this one, and I want to select this one, and then maybe I want to scroll down a little bit. Notice I can use the tools as well. I want to select that one, I want to select that one. And what happens if I say, whoa, that's right, I didn't want to select one of these. You just click on it again. When I click on it again, it deselects it. So we can quickly and safely build a list. Once we've built the list, then we can right-click on the list, anywhere on any section of the list, and then click on Look Up Selected Contacts. When we do that, it brings up our list. And notice they're all tagged. That's because they were all tagged in the list. If I wanted to untag them all just to pretty it up, there we go. They're all untagged. So now we've got our list and we can work with it. So this is one way we can work with this. Another way we can work with it is in reverse. Let's go back. I'm going to look up and I'm going to do all contacts. So now I have enabled tag mode and I have all contacts selected. What I want to do now is I want to tag all of them. And you'll see, it'll take a second, but they will all become tagged. The whole thing is going to go blue. There we go. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to undo the ones that I don't want. In other words, maybe I've got a smaller list and it's got maybe 50 names on it and I want 40 of them, but I don't want 10. So in this case, when I click on them, what is happening is they're becoming untagged. Okay, and then Once I do that, then I can say that I want to look up the tagged and look up the selected contacts, or I could say I want to omit the selected contacts, whichever way I want to do, whatever list I want to create. So if I say now that I want to omit the selected contacts, which list do you think I'll get? I would get the 5. I would get the list of 5. If I say I want to look up the selected contacts, then I'll get the list of 133 minus 5. So just to illustrate this, let's click on Omit Selected Contacts and see what we get. There's our list of 5. So as you can see, there's a lot of different creative ways to use ACT and to use this contact detail view. And the more you know about the system, then the more creative you can get with using it. It doesn't matter, though, how well you know how to work with the contacts if you don't know how to use ACT to make yourself more productive with those contacts. So in our next chapter, we're going to focus on making you more productive by learning how to schedule your day with ACT. So that's next, scheduling your day with ACT.